you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't even know how you're making money, then how can you even begin to start? So once you, for people watching this or listening to this, figure out how are you making money. If you don't go to work, do you get paid? If not, then you need to get to the point to where your money is working for you regardless. And there's all kind, and literally everything that I've learned about that pretty much is online for free.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I did all my training, so I finished in 2005. My wife made me get a phone in 2005 because we were having our son. So all before that, I never had a phone. Guess what else started in 2005? Something called YouTube. So all before, so during my whole time training, I had no, YouTube didn't exist. And people have like the world at their fingertips,
Right.
that they can find out how to do anything. And it literally everything that I've learned to build a 7-figure business has been online for free.
Mm-hmm.
But what do most people do when they get on their phone? They just jack around and watch silly stuff. Well, spend an hour a day educating yourself. So you can still watch silly stuff, but it's all free. It's there. But the thing is, and I've learned this from coaching people and dealing with people that people have to pay attention. People have to
Very
pay
true.
attention. And I can have a conversation with somebody for an hour and they won't do anything, but I can charge somebody $1,000 and they'll come with a pen and paper in hand. It's just a different
So
mindset,
true. That's so
you know?
true. Yeah. That that is probably as powerful as it gets, right? Because I think for some reason in our brain we don't value what's free. Um, we take it for granted almost, and then you charge someone some crazy prices, and they'll listen very keenly. And I think that's very interesting because I'll even see videos from Bedros Koulian or Alex Hermosi, different entrepreneurs that do the same thing. They post videos on YouTube, right? Which most people won't even watch because it's free. But then, they also have services where they charge like $25,000 for coaching. But I'm sure if, you paid a price like that, you would show up with a pen and paper and listen as much as possible, probably even prep for days, like have questions, think about everything that you could possibly ask, right? So you have a good point. I mean, we value what we pay for, which is I guess just playing into the human psychology of it. But I also like the point you mentioned about the quadrants and shifting from self-employed to business operator, which is, I'm guessing, is the bridge when money starts working for you, correct? That's uh-huh.
Because once you start learning this, make sure that you have regular conversations with your kids.
Uh-huh.
There was a kid at my house last night. I have 2 teenagers, and the kid was a senior in high school getting ready to go to college. And I said, "What are you going to major in?" He said, "Kinesiology." He wants to be a physical therapist. And I said, "That's great." But I said, learn your trade, learn how to treat patients. But I said, but at the same time, when you get out and you're learning how to treat patients, be thinking about how can I replace myself? How
Mm.
can I own a business where physical therapists are working for me and I don't have to be there? And he's like, "Man, I didn't even think about that." I said, "Well, again, you don't know what you don't know, but again, it's how you make money." So that would be my recommendation to people that own their own business. Figure out how to replace yourself as quickly as possible. That way, again, it's just going to free up your time. You can still work as much or as little as you want, but again, you've replaced yourself and it's just a different way to operate.
Yeah, from my understanding, the wealthier someone is, the more they've created a chance for them to be replaced, right? So let's say, for example, from being a physical therapist, they hire a physical therapist. Now they're just operating the business. Then they hire a manager so they don't have to operate as much. And then, for example, the hire, bigger companies, they'll hire a CEO so they don't have to be the CEO anymore, right? Like they just hire people so they are more replaced and don't have to work as much. Therefore, the money's working for them. Is that more or
Yep.
less correct?
Yep.
Hmm. Is that the, I'm assuming, the path you took in order to make the seven figures, or is that something you realized after making your company or
No,
successful
just
company?
so all the real estate and different deals that I do and work with people and everything that's I would just say that's non-clinical, I learned online for
Hmm.
free. Yeah, well, I
Hmm.
did pay I think 300 or 400 bucks to learn how to start a blog,
Hmm.
debtfreedoctor.com. But everything goes back to that. If I would have never started the blog, you and I wouldn't be talking right now. It would just it snowballed from there, you know.
Right.
So everything that I was learning about real estate, there wasn't really many people teaching it to doctors and dentists. So I just said, well, let me start this blog. I didn't know how to do it. I literally at that point I knew how to turn the power button on my computer and I could go and to Google to search the internet. That was it. So if a
Right.
redneck from Louisiana can do it, anybody do it. But again, you know, with anything, you have to have a strong enough why. And my why was what happened to me. I have to do this whether I fail, keep failing, I have to do this to provide for my family if something happened to me. And if
Hmm.
you don't have a strong enough why, like if you want to lose 20 pounds or whatever, you know, 99.9% of the time people get on a diet, they quit because they don't have a strong enough why. But if you have a chest pain and you go to the doctor and he says, if you don't lose 50 pounds, you're going to die in 3 months, that's a pretty strong why.
Right.
And you're going to put up the bluebell ice cream and you're going to exercise and you're going to eat right. And but so with anything that you want to do, you have to have a strong enough reason to do it that you're doing it, because if not, 99% of the time it's just not going to happen.
Do you think that reasoning just comes to you based on life events, or is it something that you search for?
It could, I mean, it's got to come from within you. If it's got to come from you,
Hmm.
like my I have a relative that was approaching 400 pounds and he'd been told for years and years and years, man, you got to lose weight, blah, blah, nothing. One
Right.
day out of the blue, just it clicked. He went and got a consultation. Didn't even say anything to anybody about it until like the day before his surgery. And he had one of those lap band surgeries, whatever. And now he's lost about 150 pounds.
Wow.
So it was
Was
just something that just clicked.
and there was no external circumstance that kind of pushed that day.
You know, and I asked, and he basically just said he just realized he was getting to the point where he wasn't being able to enjoy his kids. You know, the stamina and energy, and he knew it was getting worse. It wasn't
Hmm.
going to get better, and
Right.
that
He
was
just
it.
almost just fed up at that point.
Yeah,
What it
and
sounds
he
like.
knew knew he couldn't do it on his own, so he had to do something,
Right.
and he did it, and we're all proud of him.